What is reality? Reality is one of the most profound and complex concepts, deeply connected to the perception of the world, its structure, laws, and the very nature of existence. From the earliest times, humanity has attempted to understand what is truly real and what is illusion. Philosophers, scientists, religious figures, artists, and thinkers from different eras have offered various interpretations of this concept, each carrying its own unique features. But what exactly is reality? Let us try to understand reality as perception. One of the key aspects of reality is perception, how we perceive the world through our senses. For most people, modern reality is a combination of objects, events, and phenomena that we can see, hear, touch, smell, and taste. This physical world seems to be objective and existing independently of us. We see trees, mountains, rivers, hear the sound of traffic, feel smells, and we perceive all of this as real/existing out there/beyond our consciousness. However, each person's perception is individual. Two people can look at the same object but interpret it differently. One might see beauty and harmony in it, while another may regard it as just a trivial detail. This indicates that reality, although objective in its existence, is not always perceived the same way by every individual. Reality as a construct of consciousness, modern philosophy and psychology suggest that our reality is not merely a collection of objective facts, but rather a construction of our consciousness. We perceive the world through the lens of our beliefs, values, expectations, and even our emotional states. This means that our perception of the world can be colored by our personal experiences and inner conditions. A classic example of this is the phenomenon of illusions. For instance, two people can be in the same environment and see completely different things. One may interpret a shadow as a dark figure, while another may see it simply as distorted light. This deception of perception shows how subjective the reality created by our consciousness can be. Therefore, reality is not the original world. It is more about what we perceive and interpret depending on our mental, psychological, and cultural traits. Reality in philosophy. In philosophy, the question of reality is central to fields such as metaphysics, epistemology, and ontology. Specifically, philosophers have tried to answer questions such as, does objective reality exist? Or is everything we see just our interpretation? What is more important, subjective experience or objective truth? How can we know what is truly real? The ancient Greek philosopher Plato proposed the concept of two worlds: the world of phenomena, which we perceive through our senses, and the world of ideas, which is the true reality, existing independently of our perception. According to Plato, the physical world is just a reflection of the ideal world, where perfect forms exist. His student, Aristotle, adhered to a more empirical approach and argued that reality exists in what we can perceive, but it also has objective laws that can be understood through reason. Aristotle believed that our ability to comprehend the world allows us to understand its essence, rather than just perceive it as something subjective. In modern times, philosophers such as Descartes sought to resolve the problem of dividing subjective perception from objective reality. Descartes famously concluded, "I think, therefore I am." He asserted that reality consists of two components: the world that can be known through reason, and the world that exists independently of us. In the 20th century, many philosophers such as Edmund Husserl and Martin Heidegger focused on phenomenology, which examines perception of reality as the main field of study. They emphasized that reality is always perceived through an individual's experience. And this subjectivity is a crucial part of the very concept of reality. They also argued that we can only approach understanding of the world, but the world itself is never fully accessible to our knowledge. The scientific approach to reality. From a scientific perspective, reality is the sum of physical laws and objects that exist independently of our perception. In this context, Reality includes everything that can be observed, measured, and explained through scientific methods, physics, biology, chemistry, and astronomy. All these sciences aim to describe the objective world, its laws, and interactions. Nevertheless, even in science, there are challenges with the concept of reality. For example, in quantum mechanics, we encounter situations where the behavior of particles does not always conform to the logic and expectations of a deterministic, objective world. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle asserts that it is impossible to precisely determine both the position and velocity of a particle simultaneously, which casts doubt on our understanding of objective reality. Moreover, modern theories such as Einstein's theory of relativity and string theory show that reality can be much more complex and multidimensional than we typically assume. Space and time may be curved, and the world might be structured in the framework of parallel universes, which also raises questions about what we define as reality, and artificial intelligence. In recent decades, increasing attention has been given to the question of reality in the context of new technologies such as artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and neurotechnology. Virtual worlds, created through technology, are becoming more and more realistic, leading us to ask, is what we perceive through virtual glasses or within the world of games also reality? And if artificial worlds can be so convincing, then what is it that we call true reality? With the development of technologies, we also face the problem of reality in the context of consciousness. What if our reality is merely the result of our brain's work, generating a picture of the world based on sensory data? And is it possible that what we perceive as real is not the true nature of being? Conclusion. Reality is a multifaceted and complex concept that cannot be fully described by a single word or definition. It is a combination of objective phenomena that exist independently of us, and subjective interpretations that depend on our perception and consciousness. Reality can be both physical and psychological, external and internal, and much of it depends on how we perceive and interact with the world around us.